Alright, for the last one here, we're going to do a difficult one. Number 11 here is graphing y equals negative 2x squared minus 8x plus 10. So if I'm looking at this quadratic, I already know it's going to open downwards. Alright, our a value is negative, so our parabola is going to open downwards. Let's find the vertex. Alright, so vertex. Use your magical equation, x equals the opposite of b over 2a. And let's plug in b. X equals the opposite of negative 8, which is going to be positive, divided by 2 times a. So we got positive 8 divided by negative 4. Positive 8 divided by negative 4. So we've got a negative 2. So that's our axis of symmetry at negative 2. Alright, let's find where the vertex is. Vertex, plug this in, plug in negative 2 here for x's. Negative 2 times negative 2 squared minus 8 times our x, which is negative 2 plus 10. So plugging in negative 2, voila. Negative 2 squared is positive 4 times negative 2, negative 8. Negative 8 times negative 2, positive 16 plus 10. Negative 8 plus 16, positive 8, plus 10 is 18. So there is our vertex at negative 2, comma 18. Looks like we're going to have to scale our y-axis, maybe count by 2's. That sounds about right. So our vertex is at negative 2, 18. It's on the axis of symmetry. So let's count by 2's. Let's do 2, so that 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 is there. So negative 2, 18 would be right there. And remember, it's opening downwards. Alright, so the y-intercept, nice and easy, my favorite one. Because it is muy fácil, ¿sí? If we plug in zeros, right, we know that the y-intercept is going to happen when x is 0. So if I plug in a 0 here, this term is 0. If I plug in a 0 here, this term is 0. And we just have 0 minus 0 plus 10. Alright, we get that y is 10. It's the same as our c value. So what's the y-intercept? Well, the y-intercept is at 0, 10. Boom. Super easy, right? Super easy. Alright, let's graph that. 0, 10. 0 and up 10. Alright, last but not least, the x-intercepts. I know it will have x-intercepts because it's opening down. Okay, let's set the y equal to 0, because when we're on the x-axis, the y-coordinates of those points will be 0. Hope that makes sense. Make that make sense, yeah? Negative 2x squared minus 8x plus 10. Let's try to factor, yeah? I'm going to look here, and I don't want this term to be negative. It just makes factoring a whole heck of a lot more difficult. So let's pull out a negative. Even better, pull out a negative 2. We're going to be left with x squared plus 4x minus 5. Let's factor this guy now. Oh, this is not bad. X times x makes x squared. How do I multiply to make 5? Well, 5 and 1, I know they have to be opposite signs to make a negative 5. Alright, so maybe a plus and a minus. I want the bigger of the two to be positive. Alright, now the outside's negative 1x, and the inside's positive 4x. Those do add to make positive 4x. Perfect. Perfect. So negative 1x plus 5x makes positive 4x. I don't know if I said that or not. Alright, so what are our values of x? Well, x could be, what would make this right side of the equation equal to 0? Well, one of these has to be 0. Not x, but x plus 5 has to be 0. So that would mean that x could be negative 5. X could be negative 5. And over here, well, it looks like x could be 1. All right, it looks like x could be 1. Because 1 minus 1 is 0. 0 times anything is 0, times negative 2, 0. All right. So our x-intercepts are at negative 5, 0, and negative 1, 0. So let's graph those, and we will be done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's negative 5, 0. And negative 1, 0. That's negative 1, 0. This point here, this point 0, comma 10, we can mirror it across. So it's 2 units away from the axis of symmetry. Its mirrored point should be 2 on the other side of that. It's a mirror image of itself. So if this point exists 2 units away from the axis of symmetry, another point exists 2 units on the other side over there. Yeah, okay, good. Let's connect our points, slow and steady. Oh, that could be my best line today. All right, and the other side. Whoa. Whoa, Nelly. All right. What happened here? This is not going to work, all right? That's not what a parabola looks like. So what went wrong here, all right? Good teaching moment. Well, let's go back. This point seems to line up, this negative 5, 0. But negative 1, 0 doesn't. Don't leave your graph like this and say, oh yeah, Mr. Marcus, that's the quadratic function. No, that's not. All right, so go back, and it really shouldn't take that long. And look here, it's right here. X was 1. The x was 1. 1 minus 1 makes 0. So this should be a 1 here, not a negative 1. This should be a 1 here. And now does that make more sense? All right, does that make more sense here if this was 1? Yes, it most certainly does. That looks like it will connect now. All right. There we go. And there you have it. There is the quadratic function, the graph of the quadratic function, y equals negative 2x squared minus 8x plus 10. Have a nice weekend.